Hi there, people. Just a wee quick word before I play this portion of the street interview. Now, on this particular day, we had some serious technical difficulties. Once we had finished, we realised that there was an issue with the speed of the mic and matching that to the video. So we've managed to edit to get it kind of presentable, but we want to express and show the full journey, that everything's not all roses, that we have technical issues and technical difficulties, and these things do arise. So we've done our best to put it up there, and you'll see there's a bit of the sync's not right quite with some of the audio and visual, but as I say, we wanted to show the whole aspect of it. And what I want to say is, everybody who takes part in these interviews, I appreciate it so much. It's really encouraging to see how willing people are to have discussion with a stranger in the street. And might add that, nobody is coerced, nobody is forced. I've certainly not met anybody who is intimidated. We're out in the street, we have no ties to these people. They can just say no thanks and walk on, as many have. So these detractors who try and make out that you're somehow intimidating people is absolutely ludicrous. Um, and I hear these talks of, oh, it's not ethical and blah blah blah. Well, whatever. At the end of the day, we have an education system who is brainwashing people, filling people's heads with lies, and it shows up clearly for me when you speak to people and they have a real lack of understanding about the world they live in. Now, for me, that should be at the forefront of people's minds. It should be readily available to them. It's the foundations. If they lived on a sphere, it should be very easy for them to prove that to themselves. So, as I say, people can say that they're hijacked, and that it's not fair, people are not prepared. Well, at the end of the day, it's a service to them, because if they're not prepared and they've never thought about it, after speaking to the likes of myself, I'm sure they will go away and consider it. Now, if it is a globe, people can be secure in that, because there would be actual measurable proof there to say that it is a globe. But the worry is obviously that there is zero measurable proof for a globe. So this is why they have an issue. Now, when I'm out in the street, I'm taking claims from the heliocentric model and presenting that to people. In the claims that, is presented to me, bodies of water conforming to the exterior of shapes, positive and negative pressure systems existing side by side with no separation, and the fact that there is zero measurable curvature. So I am not going into the street to tell people lies. I'm not giving them a model, because the truth is that none of us know what the full dimensions of the earth are. We can deduce by looking at and observing nature, i.e. the behaviour of water, and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's not a sphere, or the exterior of a shape. The things like that are self-evident. There is not a physicist alive who's going to come forward and try and deny the actual reality that they're living in. I'm yet to see it. So I just want to, put that there, to let people know. And I think, people are clever enough, you can work this stuff out for themselves. Nobody is coerced, nobody is forced. People are treated with respect, manners, with courtesy, and they return that. And that's, for me, my experience so far, the majority of people, that's the way they are. Some people, as I say, you can see that they're not making eye contact, that they don't want to know, we just don't bother with them, they carry on. So, and the other aspect is on the previous video with the English teacher, some people are quick to jump and call people names and be dismissive of them. But we need to remember that every single one of us was at a varying stage. Cognitive dissonance happened for me, it happened for people who I know. Mostly everybody who's went through the process understands cognitive dissonance. Most people understand that they were once in the same position. Even 5 years ago or whatever, somebody says to me, there's flat, they're probably just, well, you crazy crackpot, that's just the way people are. We have to remember that we all were in that position. So, as I say, I don't want to keep this going too long. We want to show the whole aspect of the journey, and that we do meet technical difficulties. And, we've done the best here to edit it and put it up. So, here in Scotland, the weather's a problem. We can't get out every day to continue the street interviews, but as the weather gets better, we will increase the activity on it and the activism, and we'll be doing many more in the future. So I hope people understand that, and you extend a bit of courtesy to the people who take part in these videos. I have to tip my hat to them. and show my appreciation and thank them for their taking part. So hopefully, people can keep that same attitude and remember who you used to be, and have a bit of empathy for the people who are still in that position. So peace, hope you enjoy. Can I ask you first of all, do you trust government?
Depends who's in the government.
Self?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Can I ask you, do you trust your own senses?
I do trust my senses.
I do, aye.
Trust your own senses. Can I ask you, do you believe on a globe as a sphere?
Yes, I do.
You believe it's a sphere?
Yes.
Can I ask you why?
Because Christopher Columbus said it so.
So Christopher Columbus says
Aye.
Just the way scientists have it on with pictures and
so. Pictures and stories from school and stuff. If I asked you, what would be your number one proof be if you asked you to prove to yourself that it was a globe? What would that be?
It's been seen from space. We've had photos from space.
is it satellite pictures?
I understand science. If I says this to you, that the core of science for me is measurable, observable, testable and repeatable. The core of science.
No idea.
If I says to you, could you show me a body of water that sticks to the outside of a shape and shows the shape of, say it was a square or a circle or a ball, do you think you could recreate a body of water conforming to the exterior of a shape?
No.
Why? Why would you say that?
Oh, I know you're going with this.
Because it's not reality. Alright,
I know
saying so?
Uh-huh.
So then, based on just that one simple fact alone, and you trust your own senses, do you still believe you live on a sphere?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure anyway. Oh, no.
Played me.
Do you believe in things like the ISS, the International Space Station?
Yes.
Would it concern you, or would you find it a bit strange that there is absolutely zero documented video footage or images, photographs of them putting that together in space?
See, I've watched all these YouTube videos about the conspiracies of is the moon landing even real? And I'm I don't think even the moon landing happened, so...
Good, cool. If I says to you that, because I'm the same, but for me they faked the moon landings, and what they done for me is they videoed through a round window, and for me the whole thing was to try and convince people that the Earth was actually a sphere. Would that make sense to you?
It would actually make sense.
Can I ask you, based again on trusting your own senses, when you go to the beach and you look out into the horizon, what shape's the horizon?
What?
Okay. So, I take it you've flown on aeroplanes?
Yes.
And you've looked out the window?
Yeah.
What shape's the horizon?
What?
Does it make you suspicious that an aeroplane's called an aeroplane and not an aerosphere?
Oh no.
Would it make sense if the horizon was called the curve-horizon?
Oh my god.
So, based on simple things like that and trusting your own senses, are you starting to have doubts maybe that what they told you is actually reality?
Yes, oh my
Nah,
god.
Man, I still got my sphere.
I'm
Still going with a sphere?
Aye,
no, you could tell me anything, I would believe it. I'm
you
like,
would
oh,
believe it?
aye.
So are you starting to question now the validity of what they told you based on what we've just discussed?
Yes, I'm going to think of this all day.
Yeah, good. Because for me, real science is, claims about reality should be measurable, testable, observable and repeatable. That's the core for science for me. Now I ask people, could you show me one body of water conforming to the exterior of a shape? And they know they can't. So are you going to start questioning it now?
No.
You're just quite happy to believe you live on a sphere?
Aye.
What if the TV told you that it wasn't a sphere?
I still wouldn't believe them.
So you're invested in the sphere, you like the sphere?
I'm committed.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
No.
No,
actually no.
Right, usually I find that they're Star Wars fanatics that want to believe in the sphere. I'm trying to think of something else. Right, so they tell you that up there is a vacuum, right, which is a negative pressure system, and we live in a positive pressure system. Now again, observable, measurable, testable, repeatable. In reality, do you think you could show me two opposing pressure systems existing side by side without a solid barrier? So, for instance, if you had a deodorant can on you, which is a pressurised system, if I removed the metal casing, what would happen to the gas inside?
Be released.
And it would equilibrate with the pressure there on about. But yet they're trying to tell you that that's what's happening on a larger scale. And again, we can't recreate that in reality. So do you think that that is reality?
I've no idea.
I don't know.
Have you ever looked at the images that they show you from space?
Yeah, I think so. I've
Do
seen
you think
some.
they're real?
I
They
assume
look real
so.
enough.
They look real enough. Have you actually had a proper look at them?
No.
You go home and have a look at them after this.
I'm going to know, aye.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a card. I'm going to give you a card once we finish here, and if you feel as if you find proof or you would like a discussion live, we go live on a Saturday night. Would you be willing to bring us the proof and show that it is a sphere?
Aye.
Yes.
Right, smashing. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.